Okay, I hope this stays still because I'm hanging this phone on a guitar and it is a bit risky. I like that I can admit how I set up my camera and what I'm using, because I will say when I first started making videos for a while, I would want to not say it and not say how awkward my setup is and not admit to what I'm currently experiencing, because my ego wanted to wrong the experience. And how can I admit that I'm in the image of God if I'm not seeing my holiness? God will scoff and say, this is perfect. You're doing your due diligence. You're walking the path that I entailed for you to walk. So there's no need for it to be anything else rather than this moment. I've been thinking about friendship a lot. I've been thinking about communities and groups. And it's just got me reflecting on it. It got me reflecting on this. I've been going out more recently, and I entail on going out today. It's like the third and fourth day. After like 3-4 days in a row, I'm like, okay, like I like to slow down just a little bit. I wonder how people do it. How do people go out like every day? You know, you have these responsibilities, and I understand that, but then how do people just keep going? Sometimes it just feels overwhelming to keep going. It almost feels like you have to keep the switch on. Like, as soon as you wake up after 8 hours of sleep, they say to have 8 hours. I don't get 8 hours. I haven't gotten 8 hours ever in my life since I was like a kid. But they say to get 8 hours, and then you wake up and you have to, like, as soon as you wake up, you start the day, you start being productive, you start these routines. It's like, why do you have to turn on so fast? Today was hard to really turn on as quick as I wanted to. I didn't end up turning on, and that led to me missing out on class. But sometimes I just want to rebel outside of that turning on. Anyway, so I'm thinking about these friendships and communities that I see when I'm outside in the city, and I wonder to myself, how do people get together? How do they find each other? How did they find each other? I know that maybe during work or class they meet each other, but I just find that, like, it's so precious and special when I see someone either online. For instance, right now I just discovered a channel which I actually subscribe to. It actually shows her lifestyle. Her name is, like, I think it's Taifa, last name Yai, something like that. She's in Montreal. And I really just subscribe to people, really. Like, there's only like 2 people I subscribe to that show their lifestyle, and I don't watch it often. Maybe 3. But I really watch lifestyles, and I show mine coincidentally. But I don't consume as much, and you know, it's fascinating how she has so many friends, and they all look like they have such a fun, playful dynamic. And I'm like, how did you meet these people? Like, I cherish seeing friendships like that, where it's a unique soul level fated blend. It seems like they were meant to spend time with each other in this lifetime, and I love seeing that, like how natural it looks, like how natural it looks for them to exchange dialogue and to spend time with each other, like when it's just naturally done effortlessly. It doesn't take away the effort it takes in friendships, but it's like maybe the growth that they can provide one another. It's not like this mountain to climb. They walk and hike this mountain together. It's not dragging the other person and wanting them to change and be who you want them to be, and vice versa. But it's a mutual exchange of each other. I love seeing that. I like they're dressing up in it. I just wonder how they met. Maybe it was through other influencer events. I don't know, but I just like. I wonder when that will be my experience. You know, I hang out with one person maybe at a time, but to have like a group, to have 3 or 4 people together, I haven't experienced that. It's just weird that it's weird because my personality is fun and playful as well, and it's just been a slower progression to experience that in my lifetime. It's been slower than other aspects of life to experience that. And I wonder what God entails for me. What kind of friends will source provide me? I wonder what source is waiting for. I know I'm aware that I have to meet source halfway for these kind of things, but yeah, it's like I think the more time I spend alone by myself, I release more and more attachment to the validation of others, the approval of others, of strangers. And I wonder if I'm just meant to keep stripping away the false narratives of the ego. I wonder how I'll meet these people. People will say like, oh, I'm waiting for my community. My community's out there, my soul tribe is out there. And I just see it as like it's an ongoing conveyor belt of connections. I don't see a certain tribe or a community like set in stone forever in my life. Some people do experience that, maybe like a set of people, a group of people that they spend decades with, but sometimes, and that is possible if everyone in that group or a majority of people in that group are walking the same path, meaning if they actually stay in the same environment together. And not to say that they can't continue it elsewhere if they're apart distance-wise, but there's still, with that distance, there's still going to be a change of the dynamic. It won't be a stable proximity, and I don't think the friendship will always stay the same without stable proximity to each other. So I just, that's, people say soul tribe, and it doesn't mean it has to be proximity dependent, but it just wouldn't be the same if you guys are not together, close together. Like, you can try and, talk every day, sure, but it's not going to be like you guys spend time with each other, because one person could be far away in a different country. And so I just think there's so much change that happens to our lives, that this soul tribe, that this community we want to seek and hope to find, it's not like this permanent thing. Everything is impermanent. So I don't strive for a soul tribe to keep forever. I seek connections throughout my life that I know will come and go, that each individual will come and go. Some will stay for months, years, some will stay for days. So it's like I just pick up people. I'm driving this car and I'm picking people along the way, but it's not like I have to lock the doors and like of the car and expect it to be the same. So yes, we can hope for the soul tribe that we were seeking, but I just don't want us to be having these expectations that has to be like a long time thing, like nothing to be a long time thing. I hope granted, I hope my romantic relationship is long, but I want it to be actually. But that's because it's like sometimes that's a different dynamic than friendships. And if you want to have a committed partnership with your friends too, you can live in a house. I think there was like a trend going on with people living and buying houses with friends, and that's fine. That you can do that with your soul tribe. So it's just whatever mutual agreement you have with an individual group of people. That's how the future will play out, and that agreement, that contract, can change over time. So I personally, I do want stable connections in my life, but I'm not outside of a romantic relationship. With friendships, I don't expect it to be, I don't have an expectation or need for it to be dependent on proximity or just, I'm aware that it can change too, and I need that level of flexibility that it can change. So I think that has helped me be open to or being patient with who comes in my life, because I'm not expecting I'm just not expecting it to I'm open to who comes in my life, because I know either way it's going to change over time. Whether the person comes tomorrow or 5 years from now, it's just an ongoing. I just have continued ongoing interactions with people over time, whether or not whoever comes and goes. It's still going to be an ongoing conveyor belt, which sounds so manufactured and maybe inauthentic, maybe my choice of words, but I just see it as like coming and going, and it can be meaningful and impactful in life. I mean, it could be transformative, but I just know not everyone's gonna stay in my life forever. I mean, I'm gonna leave this earth by myself. Let's see how this light. Is this okay? It's kind of dull, but it's okay. So it's fun to see these friendships, and when I see a friendship from the outside, that's just feels and looks so rich. I'm like, oh, I just hope that these people are in each other's lives for a long time. When I hear someone that's middle-aged, older, and they tell me that, they have this friend, their best friend, their close friend that they've known and have been in each other's lives for decades or since high school. I'm like, wow, like how it must fulfill, you must be fulfilling each other's needs, whether you're aware of it or not. You're bringing value in each other's lives, and you still are bringing value in each other's lives. And I think after that long, it's just, at that point, I'm like, you guys were meant to be in this lifetime together. And maybe not everyone thinks of that, if their friendship that way, but when it's that long, I'm like, yeah, you guys are riding this journey together. And I just sometimes wonder who's that for me. Like, who will be coming in my life like that? And it just almost makes me emotional, because I've had these visions that I've seen come to life with my partnership, romantic partnership. And sometimes it feels like, wow, like I can't believe I'm living this life. And I tell him, and he tells me the same thing. Like, how are we in each other's lives? Like, because it's just a dream come to life. It's something that we've imagined in our heads since we were young in some way, and we're experiencing this life together. And how did that happen? Because it was like we didn't foresee it to happen at this time in our lives, and I didn't know it was gonna happen where I'm currently living. So I just think of that with friendships, like who I imagine, like a friend that's like very easy to be with. I don't know if you've seen The Materialist. I've seen it. I know some people didn't like it. And she says in the movie, the main character, that love is easy, but dating is really hard. And I kind of understood where she was coming from with the love is easy. I think when there's a mutual understanding of growth with both parties, then it's much easier to navigate conflict and to come out of it stronger and to refine that love you have with a friend, a lover, whoever that other person is to you. And I wonder who that could be for me, where I can just go on this journey with them. Because I do want to, of course I don't have that attachment for it to be long last. I guess I just want a reliable sources of connections, where if I'm apart from them, I can still reach out to them and know that I'll be received, whether it's been a few weeks or a month not hearing from them or being apart from them proximity wise. I just want it to be reliable, that I can reach out to them, they can reach out to me anytime, and that we'll still be coming together. And I wonder who I can do that with, who I can be on this journey to do that with. And when I see connections in person or online that looks rich, I just wonder if they have that too. I want everybody to have that. I want everybody to have those kind of people, and there's this like friendship epidemic, this loneliness epidemic happening, but people are having a hard time finding that. And I hope we can just continue to put ourselves out there, to know that there are going to be people who want to meet us halfway. And I know I'm not the best at that. Sometimes I'm like, I need to show up for my friends too more. And then at the same time, I'm like going through all this change internally too, and navigating these internal changes, and sometimes that leads to me retreating myself so I can grow and connect with my inner self. But I also have to still keep putting myself out there. And another topic of discussion I wanted to talk about, as I'm reflecting on a lot of friendship communities with other women, it just makes me think about like how fun it is to have this feminine dance. Isn't it kind of fun? I guess, I don't know, to go out and like be with other girls. I guess it's more casual talk. It's more casual, I know. Isn't it fun though? Just, that's why I'm thinking about it lately, because I see it from other people, and the thing is, I'm observing it differently. Before, I feel like some things I was just seeing as passing. Like almost sometimes what I visually see it's not clear to me. Like I can see it. It's I can notice it's there. I can notice that my visible eye can notice it. It's matter. It's tangible. I could I have vision. I'm not blind. I have vision. I can see it, but I'm not fully grasping what that means to me in my mind, how I'm perceiving it. The visual, and the perception is two different things for me sometimes. And sometimes the visual is only what's there, and so I'm not actually grasping and connecting these thoughts about what I'm seeing. It's just weird. It feels like, and I could feel like I'm not really in this world because of it. And that's how I felt with friendships, with people, groups of people. Like visually see it in the city, but it was just like a blur. Like I would just glance or look, but there's nothing going on up here. In a way. But now I can see it with more perception. So instead of just glancing and looking and just having this distance between me and this reality I'm in this reality instead of being apart from it. And that leads to a perception of like, wow, noticing it and be like, wow, like seems like a beautiful friendship. Perceiving it and having actual thoughts about it, like, wow, that looks like they're having a great time together and that they're really enjoying each other's company and they're laughing and they're just having this human experience together. Like it's almost like, ooh, like cherishing this human experience rather than like being in a frozen, paralyzed state. That's how it is sometimes. And now I'm like, wow, I'm actually appreciating this reality, like because I'm in it. I'm not this like floating entity being. Maybe it's just because I'm in the dance with it. I'm dressing up more, and my sense of style is shifting. And another thing I'm talking about, kind of tired, I guess. Another thing I wanted to talk about was like my sense of style. Because as I'm actually having this perception and being in this reality more, I think it's because I'm dressing up and being in this feminine dance with everybody else. Although I'm not in the friendship group or in a friendship group, I'm still dressing up, but just not with other girls. So in a way, I'm still feeling like I'm in the dance. And that's why I'm appreciating more, and it just got me thinking about friendships and groups and feminine groups, other women, and being in this world and being in this reality now. I mentioned my sense of style shifting. I think it was sometime earlier this year, but I was reminded of how it was shifting again. Like I was reminded again that it's shifting. I knew it was shifting since like a good year now. I think it's been about a year or so that I recognized that it was shifting. And now I was like, yeah, it's definitely, I was confirmed again that it has shifted. When I was a teenager, like all my life, usually up until I moved to the city, before that, so like before I was 20, and everything before I was 20, I was just borrowing what clothes were available in the household, like a lot of people do. You know, there wasn't financial resources to source my own clothes, right? Like you just use the clothes you have that's in the house. And there were times in high school, so I did that a lot in middle school, so I didn't really connect to my clothes, what I wore. It wasn't really of my choosing, it was of my choosing, but it was just what was available. I wasn't sourcing the clothes from a store. And then in high school, I kind of wanted to experiment with what's available to me. So it still wasn't like the clothes I chose and picked out. It was still what was available in the house, but it was like I was starting to curate it to a little bit more of my liking. Still not ideal, but a little bit more. Some outfits I was like senior year in 17, 18, that's when I was like, oh, starting to like, oh, I like how I put this together. Or I look in the mirror and be like, oh, I like how I put this together. And I got some compliments here and there. And what I wore was just baggy. It was a lot of bagginess, cardigans, baggy jeans, a lot of like just oversized clothing. I really liked it. And I still do, but a little bit, not a little bit, a lot less. Which is so funny because I loved it at that time, and I still have appreciation for it, but I just don't wear it as much. And that's what I've noticed. I wear a lot of, as you can see, maybe some clips I'll show. It's like I'm wearing more revealing clothes on my legs, or like revealing of my body, more tight. I love clothing now that complements my like body shape and reveals it a little bit more than hides it away. And yeah, just it's fun. It's really fun to do that, to notice the shift. I still lean towards colorless clothes, gray, black. If I do color, it's only earthy tones, brown, sage green, a tangerine color. Actually, rarely tangerine. Yeah, gray, black, brown, and green are my favorites, pretty much. And if I never do patterns. So it's so like typical. When I was looking at my birth chart, as I usually do, I was like, oh, my style kind of aligns with what's going on in here, in a way. So yeah, it's just it's fun to just continue evolving into yourself. And I think that's another reason that's been a huge help in really seeing validation, approval for, or attachment to validation, when you kind of can own your sense of self and be proud of it and have appreciation for how you show up in this world. I didn't know that as a teenager that it would help. But I think I've gotten hints at it when I was at 17, 18, around that age. I noticed, and maybe I wasn't fully aware of it at the time, but I did notice that it did help me feel, it did feel good. Like, as anyone, you kind of feel good about it, about yourself, when you can just put a piece of clothing on and you tie it with something else, and you just feel good at the creation behind what you're wearing or something. Sometimes I have to remind myself as I'm out and about that I'm like, oh, like I feel good about myself. I just have to like tell myself mentally, you know. Yeah, I think that helps maybe kids, young adults, teenagers feel good at a young age. I guess I would encourage parents to, I think that does help though. A kid's upbringing is like letting them experiment with their clothing, because it helps them feel good about when they can own their self-expression and be confident and almost trust in their own instincts. It allows them to trust in their own instincts with how they want to show up in the world. Social media can blur those lines, so like even indulging at a young age in social media can blur the lines between what you want, or like blur the lines between what you want and what other people want. Yeah, it's a long conversation about femininity, friendship, groups, showing up, self-expression. And Okay, I can see why people show up, want to be in these friendship groups, and you feel proud of it. Like people, like the, I think online you see these friendship groups and or certain lifestyles, and I think people show up because they're proud of what they have in this life, what they're able to experience, what kind of friends they have in their life. You know how those all everybody's posts for birthdays, for people's birthdays are always like, I'm so lucky to have this person, or like I'm the luckiest person to have this person. It's when they're wishing that person, their friend, like a happy birthday. It's probably because they have so much like appreciation and gratitude for to be in their life. I'm not as judgmental of those posts anymore. I used to be because I'm like, oh, why is everyone saying the same thing? Like, I wish, oh, this is the best. I did that with my sisters. I'm like, I'm so lucky to have you guys as my sisters, or something like that. I don't know if I'm making it clear because I'm kind of like balancing with my communication, but I get it now. I get why people like show their friends, their friend groups, and show everybody going out together and having these celebrations together. It's because they're proud of being in each other's lives. Their souls were meant to be in this lifetime together, to spend time with each other, to play, to learn from each other. I wish people were more aware of that. I mean, in a way, maybe they are aware, but like, I don't know, do some people like when they become friends, or they just like, oh yeah, we just get along, that's why we're friends, and that's like the end of it. And maybe there's like a soul contract, and I know, yeah, I'm gonna say that my way of seeing the world a lot is through spirituality and a spiritual lens. So I do see the world a lot in that way. It helps me understand the world in the best way I know how. So yeah, just like sometimes I wonder if people are just like, oh yeah, we just like we get along, like, or like, yeah, we met through work, so now we're friends. But like, let's like come together and like you share what I fulfill for you, and I share what you fulfill for me. How my heart feels around you, and how your heart feels around me, and what we're excited to experience together in the future together. Like, that's so exciting to like, that's why I want reliable sources of connections, because I want to trust and believe that we'll have certain experiences together down the line in the future. I love daydreaming and future planning with people, talking about it, like, oh, let's go here, let's go there, even though I never did that before with somebody, only with my partner. But to dream about it, to be like, you know what, I would love to go here with you and travel here with you, and trust that we are travel companions, because not every friend you can travel with, but it's good to have friends you can, and be like, you know what, I know I can show up exactly as I am with you, and that's why I know I can take you anywhere. Because if we go to Paris, I know I said it wrong. If we go to a city, and if I want to stay in for a night, if I want to stay in on a day because I'm exhausted, you're not going to judge me for it. You're going to go out and do your own thing. So that's what I love too about seeing content around like friendships and like people spending time with each other. In this sense, traveling, because they're traveling, and then I know not everyone's gonna show maybe the obstacles, the tension between their friendships, but sometimes you can get a kind of sense, a general sense of how the experience was for that group of people, those group of friends, and sometimes when you see everybody smiling and have fun and like and taking themselves each other on different trips, multiple trips, it's like, okay, like whatever dynamic you guys have, it works, and I love to see that. I love to see friendship dynamics working, especially in, you know, outside of a familiar environment when they travel together, because you can notice, okay, like this works out for you guys, and I love that. I love that they found people that they can have these shared experiences with, and it works. So not only do I love seeing friendships, you know, when I'm out in this world, but online too. Online, when I see them having different experiences outside of their like home base, because it's like, oh, okay, like you kind of get to see you guys in a new light, and you especially they who are experiencing this, actually experiencing it, and not like a viewer like me. Good for them. Like, I don't need to be having this perception that doesn't really matter of them, but good for them to have that experience for themselves. I get it. I get why people indulge in that. Because today I was like watching this woman on YouTube, and I'm like, you know what? I get it. I get why people are into this life, like different lifestyles, watching it and observing it and viewing it and appreciating it, feeling good about it, because you kind of get excited about your future too. I'm like, oh wow, I can't wait to experience like traveling with friends. Or, I mean, like, what else did I see lately? Yeah, lately it's been a lot of like just seeing people travel, taking trips on YouTube or something. Usually it's just YouTube because I'm just on YouTube, but yeah, it's like, I, yeah. And it's not easy. I mean, like, you have to get everybody together at a certain time. I keep talking about this because I just have so much appreciation just for friendships. Maybe this will be a soul video. Yeah, it's special. And it takes time. Like, as people are trying to find dates and finding a partner, friendships can also take time to like curate and be part of friendship groups. Capricorn in the 11th for you. I mean, if you have Capricorn in the 11th, Saturn in the 11th, something like that, because it's good. That's but yeah, it's like, I didn't know it was gonna be this long though. Like, you know, because I daydreamed. When I was younger. I was daydreaming, going places with people, and it just takes a lot more of like putting yourself out there. Like, sometimes I like just keep it low key. So I'm not always gonna be like in the spaces to be around people, to talk to them, and I don't want to always be. Most of the time I'm not, so like it's not gonna just come to me. I think when you daydream, it's almost like all daydreams feel effortless because it's in your head. You're not actually putting effort, the action yet, so of course it's gonna be effortless because it's in the mind. However, it's still, you know, you kind of have that illusion. I, for one, have that illusion that the effortlessness in the mind is also leads to effortlessness in the tangible world. But it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that at all. It doesn't work like that. But nonetheless, yeah, I was like, interesting that as middle school, I think mainly, like just when I was younger, really, it's like when I was thinking about having those experiences. Yeah, just interesting how like, and not to shame the time that's passed that didn't experience it, not to shame myself, but it's like, it's just so interesting to me that actually just takes time. It takes time. Like, it's not, and there's no, like, it can take time. Takes just waiting, put yourself out there, but waiting too. No way. Maybe not wait. I don't want to say waiting because people. I just read through certain texts. They're like, oh, if you wait. Anyway, I'm not gonna go through it. I'm not gonna just go off topic real quick. But just being the time come when it comes. Allowing it to appear itself when it does. Sometimes I have to revert to that belief because then we can get stuck in this manifestation loop, if you will. Yeah. I wonder though, like, I never want people to think they're ever stuck in friendships either, or feel obligated, like, oh, I'm working with this person. They ask to go out to have drinks with me, but I don't necessarily want to have to do that. Let's just make room for people that feel that are heart-led decisions. I will say that I've been meaning to say that I sometimes forget that I wanted to mention. I've recognized and realized that my connections that I had in the past, a few years ago, I thought I wanted to keep those connections, but I didn't generally, with my heart, wanted to keep those connections, but my ego wanted to, because it allowed me to stay comfortable. So I think it's important to ask ourselves as well, is this decision I'm making to keep this connection heart-led and authentic and heart-centered, or is it coming from the permission to feel comfortable, to not be challenged, to not grow and be uncomfortable? Because I realized that what scared me the most were connections that made me uncomfortable and were new in the sense that it would force me almost to be putting myself and showing up differently. And the connections I thought I needed to keep, not because I wanted to keep it, but because it made me comfortable, and I knew that I can still be myself. Not like actual, like authentic. I can still be myself, like expression. I can still express myself, but it wouldn't challenge me at all. And we sometimes could stay in those friendships that actually like keep us like, oh, like, I know I'm not gonna be challenged, and that's okay. Or like, we might not, but we're not, like, for me, I didn't know I was doing that. I thought, oh, I just, it's hard to let these people go and release them. And yeah, it can be hard, especially if you like, appreciate them for who they are and fond of them. But if it doesn't serve you, it's like, I just let them stay in your life, because you can just keep those same patterns, same figures and stuff, all that, without really being challenged to show up differently. Because it can be comfortable. It can be easily comfortable to stay in certain relationships with people. But it takes bravery to seek something different, and it takes bravery to communicate that. And I'm still working through that, working through the bravery and the courage. I don't want to be afraid anymore to want something different. And the fear, sometimes the uncomfortability, is a good sign that we're heading in the right direction. And I had to remind myself that recently. I'm like, oh, maybe this new friend that I met a year ago or so, it's good that I'm uncomfortable. Like recently, I didn't film any of this, but I hung out with a friend, and it was scary to admit that, or it was scary to know that that's what I needed, like new kind of friendships, or to confirm. It was scary to confirm to myself that I seek the kind of friendships I have now rather than old friendships or old connections. And like by me hanging out with this new friend, or not really new friend at all, but by me confirming that I want more of it, confirm also that I wanted less of the old. So I think sometimes moving in that new direction is scary, because the more we move in that new direction, the more we let go, or maybe sometimes we hold on to both and we're in the middle of like releasing the old but also welcoming the new. Sometimes we're in the middle for a while. And I've been in the middle for a while, and it's sometimes scary to keep leaning more and more to the what feels more right, because we feel more of that, like the truth of what doesn't serve us. We feel more of that too. It's like the more we lean to the right, to what feels right, the more we also can confirm what held us back before. It's almost like I wish I had an proper analogy for it, but yeah, it's like I think that's what's scary about change, because like, oh, once I change, I confirm the fear, I confirm the concern, I confirm everything that led me to stay where I was before. Yeah. I wonder if I just get curious about like how connections have changed for people over time, how it's evolved, how and why one friendship connection didn't last, and how we are currently feeling about it, how we felt before. Like, I'm in this wonderment recently about people's experiences within their relationships with other people. I met older people, specifically older men, who they don't have many connections anymore. Maybe they once did, or maybe they have a few, but I can almost detect at that time when I would have these conversations with them that they were not fulfilled, or like they were missing something, usually love, a romantic partner, but and they're almost like, some of them just decide, okay, well, that's not gonna be part of my life anymore. I'm like, why? I wonder why they would like just believe that, because I sense and I assume and I predicted at the time, and I still do, that their heart didn't believe it. At their soul level, they didn't believe that. They didn't believe that there was no one else out there that could be part of their life anymore in a romantic way. And the reason I predict that is because they're coming from a place of past experiences rather than an instinctual knowing. But I think their mind tricked themselves into believing that what they're saying, what they're saying was true, instead of challenging that narrative. I think what can help us uncover what is true and what is not true is seeing, okay, where is this belief coming from? Where am I sourcing this belief? And then keep working underneath that layer. There was some I've revealed, I think some beliefs in the past throughout my different videos. I released, or I can't really say any examples right now, the tip of my tongue, but I recognize like what beliefs I've had before in the past. Like I've just revealed now with like how I kept past connections just because it allowed me to stay comfortable. Like I had to see the truth behind it by asking myself, why am I really keeping this connection? Is it serving me? So it's always getting curious about where a narrative and a belief is coming from. I just hope that these men I've met in the past, that they can come back to what is true for them, whatever that looks like. Yeah, and sometimes they also just, it could be friends too. It could be like people believe, at a certain age and a certain time in their life that like, oh, I don't, I'm not gonna really have that partner. I'm not gonna have those friends anymore. Like it's just my time almost like actually just left me. Like that time, that experience doesn't belong to me anymore. Just because of a certain age that I'm at, just because I have kids now, just because I'm in a certain period of time of life. But why are we choosing to believe that? Well, sometimes our ego thinks it knows best more than source, more than God. Like we gotta practice our humility and say we don't know, and say that I'm scared that I don't know. I'm scared that I'm not gonna experience this, and maybe that fear is leading us to believe different. I don't know. I just want people to know that they can experience things at a certain age, a certain period of time, maybe a period of their life. Because how wonderful is it, like, however old you are, let's say you're in your 60s. I'm sure like you have amazing qualities that can blend well with somebody else's qualities, and that there's magic that can be found in between you and another person, a friend, a lover, whoever. Like there's magic to be found, and I see that magic between people in public. I'm like, wow. I think this is what this whole conversation is coming from, just witnessing the magic between other people. I love that. So yeah, this is a long conversation just about like what we can find within other people. I just remember like periods of time when it just felt magical, and every time my life felt magical is when I witnessed and felt like I was a part of other people. I remember this conference I went to in 2013. It was rooted in a community conference. It was all the gardens, community gardens throughout the United States coming together in California, Los Angeles. And I remember how magical it felt at the time. And it was always because we all came together. We all came together for a certain mission. There was groups of people. Usually people would stick with their community, um, you know, their community gardens, who they were with. But I think it was so magical because I was a part of something. I was a part of a community of people. I feel like I was part of it. Just like me dressing up lately, I feel like I'm part of this feminine dance. I just want to be part of it. And I've been getting better. Like I've said many times, I've been getting better and I isolate myself. There's a video I said like from isolation to exploration or something. Anyway, I'm getting better at it. And the more and more and more I go outside and do this, I feel grounded again in this reality in where I live. I'm not trying to leave because I was gonna leave next year, and I might still leave, but it's not bad when I'm like part of it and bringing people together and being a part of the dance. Oh, it's not so bad. It's not so like boring and mundane. I just have to create my own gatherings too. I don't know. I'm excited because it's like I want to show that too, and I want to portray that could be. We could experience that. We have these souls that are out there willing to blend their energy with our energy. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what could happen. I'm just anticipating what magic could be found with other people. It's just so that it's like to exchange ideas, to talk about what we learned about each other, to experience like certain, to have these like shared meals together, delicious meals together, to swim in water and oceans together, like just to have this dance. So, what are you anticipating right now? And what are your experiences with friendships right now, and community right now, and just other people? What are your experiences with other people right now? Whether it's an individual, I know I can talk kind of fast sometimes, whether it's an individual or group of people, What is it like for you?